Now, turning to our program, please welcome Josh Morby with JRM Advisors, who will introduce today's speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Ben Merens. Ben is someone many of you know by voice, if not in person. For more than 2 decades, Ben was one of Wisconsin's most recognizable interviewers as a host on Wisconsin Public Radio, helping us better understand the people and issues shaping our state. Today, Ben comes to us as an outreach specialist with the state's Bureau of Consumer Protection. Ben assures us that if we take his advice to heart, he can practically guarantee, I don't know if that's a scam, that each of us can prevent ever becoming a scam victim. Please join us in welcoming Ben Merens.
Bad habit. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for being here today and allowing me to be here with you. My name is Ben Merens. I work for the state's Bureau of Consumer Protection as part of Dept, the Department of Ag, Trade, and Consumer Protection. Within that, the Bureau of Consumer Protection. Pat, you're right. Scamming is really about deceit. If you're here to hear all about scamming, I may disappoint you in the next 30 minutes. We'll talk about it. We're the Bureau of Consumer Protection. Our job is to keep consumers safe and to teach you how to be safe. And if things don't go well, how do you get to us to help you? And we'll talk about all of that in the next 28 minutes. The most important thing I'm going to tell you today, and I'll repeat it throughout, is the importance of controlling the flow of your communication. Know who you talk to, text and email, and know that from you out, you're going to always be safe if you know the right email address or phone number. Hence the guarantee, Josh. The first connection to the scammers is our choice. They are manipulators, they're expert at it, but whether you let them into you or not, on the phone, in your home, text, email, that's your choice. We're going to talk about how you use that control. You have more control as consumers than almost any other aspect of your lives. I teach risk management, by the way. So we learned this as 6-year-olds. We were taught, look to the left, look to the right, cross at the corner, go at the light. And today we're talking about the information superhighway, far more lanes, same advice. What do we know so far? 7 billion people on the planet, not half of us, but 3.5 billion hits of scammers knocking on the door. You don't have to answer, but that's what's going on. To the extent it's $1 trillion scandemic. I'm an optimist. I see the glass not as half full. I see it as 99% full. We don't hear the good news anywhere near enough. We hear the bad news. $1 trillion is a lot of money. The global economy annually, anybody know it off the top of their head? I looked it up. It's over $110 trillion, which means the $1 trillion is a statistical drop in the bucket unless it happens to you. And then it becomes an ocean on your head. You may or may not survive it. How you get to that point is what you do with this communication. We weren't raised with these. We're learning on as we go. Some more numbers, 70% plus of Americans, right? Adults see this. More significantly, half of the $1 trillion of scams in this country. They had a head start, the scammers did, but we're teaching. My coworker Jeff and I speak combined 500 times a year. Not nearly enough, but it's a start, because with our education, each one of you doesn't have to worry about the person next to you, what the government's doing, what I'm telling you. You only have to worry about your communication habits. We'll throw them out here next couple minutes. By the way, we get reports, so you get numbers, but they're skewed because most people who get scammed don't go, you know what I got to do? I got to call Consumer Protection so their numbers are right. We like you to report it, but if you don't, and most don't, we have to kind of guesstimate. This problem is real. The control of whether it happens to you or not, though, is in your hands. That's a really warm, positive thought. I want you to keep it. In addition to scams, we talk about identity theft, AI, crypto. We do a business scams and a business identity theft. I don't have time to go through all the business stuff, but I will tell you this. If you run a business, it's not critical to get your employees to work as fast as they can, but as safe as they can with their communication. And you want them to be careful. You want to know in that business, whether it's 3 employees or 300, who's in charge of communicating with the outside? Who's in charge of dealing with people who sell you product to keep your business going? When you get contacted, you're not used to this, it's somebody creating a sense of emergency. You should tell the employees and know if someone is pushing you to do something super fast, if you don't confirm that, you should question it. And if you're not sure if what's in front of you is safe, on the books that are going around, our 800 numbers there, we have a hotline and we want you to use it. I'll give you the details of how at the end, but know that we're here to help you. The scammers will use fear, intimidation, payment methods you can't trace. Just remember, if we're not in a hurry, we're safe. It's making that decision like this because we think we have to. So why do they scam us online, emails, texts, and on phone? Willie Sutton was quoted saying, why do you rob banks? That's where the money is. So why are they there? Because that's where we are. But we can be there safely. It's, do you know who's contacted you? If you're not sure, you don't engage with any information till you're sure. Nothing is that urgent. And if it is urgent and you don't connect, they'll send a squad car. And thank God that doesn't happen too often. So we try to get you to be safe by thinking of this not as a receiver, but as a window. We look out when we want, where we want, with whom we want, as long as we want. Sometimes we open the window to get fresh air. Sometimes we pull the shade. But what we never do is open the window at 8 o'clock at night because somebody knocked on it and wanted to come into our home. This, when you think of it as a receiver, they knock on the window at 8 o'clock at night, and you, hello, and you've just let them in your home. That's your choice, and you don't have to answer just because it rings. This is a technological tool. It's a marvel. I have more tech power in my hand than the Apollo 10 rocket that went to the moon. This is pretty powerful. It's the only tool in our house that tells us what to do when. Our vacuum cleaner doesn't ring and we start doing this, right? TV doesn't buzz, so we better turn it on. We need to treat this the same way. It has an off button. I mentioned it because I spoke to a bunch of students and I said, it's important to turn it off once in a while, kids. This young lady raised her hand and said, I can't, sir. The sir hurt. I said, why can't you? She goes, I just got the phone 4 months ago and they didn't show me how to turn it off. I don't know how. We laugh. We should cry too. You can turn these off. Our elders need to do it. You need to do it. Our kids need to do it. We don't use tools 24/7. Somehow this is on way more than it needs to be. When you get something, any text or email, you can read it. It's okay. But you don't want to respond. Click on a link. One of my favorite rules is we never click on a link we don't verify. How do you verify it then? You call us or call the company you think sent it. We don't click on it to guess though. If it's a scam link, like in the example here, the post office wants to know your delivery preferences, gobbledygook for what's your address? If anyone knows your address, it's the United States Postal Service. But if you want to know if this is real, there's a package, we don't click on the link. That's easy. But it's a mistake. We go to the post office, we call the post office. I call this consuming with intention. It's more work up front. But if you do it and you don't fall for the scam, you don't have to undo it and ask us to help you on the back end. When you click on the link, your phone, if it's a bad link, will not go, nothing happens. But inside, the scammer may now have a door into your phone or computer, reading everything you can read. It's not those darn scammers. If you don't click on the link, you don't open the door to let them in. Nothing is so urgent, you have to click on the link till you verify it. By the way, if you get a text from a scammer, please don't click unsubscribe. If it's a scam, anything you click is a link. Now, if you're on a legitimate website named Kohl's.com, right? You don't want the ads anymore from Kohl's. You click unsubscribe. You know it's legitimate. The key is making sure you know who you're communicating with. From you out is always safe if you have the right phone number, email, or text, right? Phone number or email address. anything from the outside world in, you take a deep breath because you don't know today. No matter how clear you think you know, you don't. It's all about one simple fact. What direction? That's all you have to know. I love teaching my elders this because all this technology, it's not about technology. It's your communication. What direction is the communication? From you out, fine. From the out in, not necessarily so. When they ask for questions, ask you information rather, you ask 4 questions. Who's asking? Why? Do I have to give what they ask for? What if I don't? A lot of us are raised in the generation, they asked, we gave. No more. And if you're told you have to give it, it's corporate policy, you can say, I have a different corporate policy. And I have to point out, the CEO would not like me making the mistake. I'm beholden to this company, not yours. You can't have the information if I don't know why, and I agree. That's up to you. If you're getting email and you hover your mouse over the email address, and there's a second email, it's called ghosting. Somebody's hacked a computer, and now they're commenting to you as if they're that person. Frequently, this happens around the holidays for clergy. You get an email from your reverend, clergy, rabbi, imam, saying there's a new family in town, and we want to help show them a warm Wisconsin holiday season. Could you please send gift cards to this address? If you hover your mouse over the clergy's email, it won't be theirs. That tells you to be wary. But any communication from the outside in, they're asking for money. And if you have it, you want to give it, and it's real, it's a righteous gift. How do you know it's real? You go to the church office, right? Or you call the house of religion that you deal with. Ask them. Consuming with intention, you have more work to do up front. We were taught this as kids. Look to the left, look to the right, cross at the corner, go with the light. If it's not safe and you don't know it to be safe, right? That's all. Then you don't do it. 66 plus years I've crossed the street and I've never done it like this. Never. We never blindly guess on the computer either. We've been taught how fast we have to go. And one of the favorite rules I have for old and young alike, it's okay to be slow. You want to go as fast as possible with your technology, knowing you're safe 100% of the time. For some of us, that's very slow, and that's okay. Social media, it's kind of like the toy store my mom used to take me to. Benny, she'd say, you can look and see, but don't touch. Look and see, but don't click. You go online, and if you click, you leave a digital footprint. If you're at the beach, Bradford Beach, you leave a footprint, it'll wash away. Digital footprints don't wash away. The choice whether there is a footprint or not is you. Are you clicking? Or are you just reading, taking down information, and finding out if what you read is real? You can do that. That's communication with intention, and it's more work up front. No one's ever walked up to us at a park and handed you $500 and said, boy, oh boy, Josh, you're a great guy. Here you go. So why would it be that there's that card? All you got to do is click, and Walmart's giving you $500. Walmart, Facebook, any of these cards that offer you money, these are multi-billion-dollar companies, and they did not get that way giving us money. They got that way taking our money. So why would it be real here? It isn't real here. But so many of us would love it to be our day. If you have to know if the Walmart gift card that came to you or you saw on social media is real, go ahead and call Walmart or go to the store and ask. That's a lot more work, Ben. Well, if you're dying to know, you need to confirm the scam. You better do that. No one invests with somebody you meet on a park bench or online. And if you see a great offer for a great Bitcoin investment, great, take the notes and then go do your research. We don't invest with strangers. If you've never invested, you certainly wouldn't be starting with a Bitcoin or crypto real risky. But either way, you do your homework first. By the way, I work for the Bureau of Consumer Protection. We also advocate, you go see AARP and the Better Business Bureau. These are organizations that's job is to help consumers. And so often we feel alone as consumers. We just didn't get what we wanted. No one's helping us. And yes, there are people who help you. We do, and you've paid for it. My biggest challenge is not getting all the information or staying to time. It's making sure that audiences I meet know the Bureau of Consumer Protection exists and what we do. When we were younger, there were classified editors that vetted the ads that we saw in the newspaper, but today that's not necessarily the case. You can buy online. The police asked me to tell you all stations have community officers. So let's say you're buying a plasma screen TV and you live in River West and the person selling it's in Racine and they're willing to come to your home. We don't advocate that, or meeting in a Walmart parking lot. We want you to go to the local police station, first call them, let the community officer know you have this deal going and you'd like to meet at the station Saturday at 10 o'clock. And if you're dealing with a scammer, you have a cup of coffee with a cop. But if it's real, you exchange product and money in front of the police. We don't want you to ignore what you see online, but you need to know what's safe. And you need to put yourself in a position where you're safe because there's risk. This is a really great offer the police tell me to offer you, so know that it's there for you. So there is a group called Stir Shaken. For you James Bond fans, you recognize that? That's how he makes a martini. Stir Shaken is a group of federal, all 50 state and private sector people working to make caller ID impenetrable. But it's not right now. So how do we take control? Because I'm all about you take control of your communication. Know who you're calling, texting, and emailing. That's always going to keep you safe. Not trusting what comes in from the outside. Caller ID is coming in from the outside. But here's what we can do to take control. Text who you're calling, and this works with friends and family, right? Ask them, text me before you call me, immediately. So if I'm calling Aaron, and I text Ben Merens, and then he sees caller ID seconds later, Ben Merens. The scammers haven't caught up to this. I just made it up a month ago. I don't know how you could be any safer. And again, text first, takes 2 seconds. It's kind of like scheduling our calls. Sounds a little foreign to some of us, but some of us used to schedule a call home on Sunday nights because it was cheaper after 10 o'clock. So we schedule all the time. We can do this too. If you pick up the phone and it's a bunch of silence, 5 seconds. By the 4th second, I want you to hear Ben saying, hang up the phone. The 5th second, we don't want to know what's on the other side. One of two things is happening. You're talking to a legitimate telemarketer, and I'm sorry for the telemarketing industry, but you don't know if it's legitimate. And if you're shopping for aluminum siding, you should be shopping for it with intention, not waiting to see if tonight's the night the aluminum siding guy calls. So there's no upside to taking that telemarketing call. I'm not talking about business here. I'm talking about consumer risk management. Let's say it's not a legitimate business. It's a scammer. Then there's no incentive. The 4 seconds of silence is your invitation to walk away. Right? It's not safe. That silence, think of that as it's a not safe place. Get out of it. If you answer the phone, and I do advocate we answer the phone. I'm not saying stay home just like this. But if you answer the phone at 8 o'clock at night or 2 in the afternoon, and they say, good afternoon, is this Ben Merens? I don't say yes or no. I ask who's calling. And based on that, I may talk to them. We can stay in control, and we have to. And if it's legitimate, a little pushback's fine, they'll respect you for it. We teach AI, our new program. AI and crypto are our two newest. The oddest factoid from that presentation, in the country of Albania, they have the world's first governmental AI minister. In Albania, the governmental AI minister is in charge of hiring, firing, working on corruption in procurement, and issuing marriage licenses. You want to hear more about that? Come call us, we'll set up a talk. All our talks are free and we do them virtually or anywhere in the state you'd like. But AI can be used, well, for good and bad. I don't need it to find you, but I use Siri every day because I travel all over. And I just ask for directions to 222 Main Street in Beloit. I get time, mileage, if there's accidents, police activity, construction. That's AI, it's great. But in our lifetimes, there's a lot of we don't know, a lot of scary and a lot of to be determined, and some bad. So what do we know about AI when it comes to consumer safety? When it comes to voice cloning, you get a call and you know the voice. All you know, and this goes back, remember the ad, is it real or is it Memorex? This is that on steroids. You're talking to your best friend, you know that voice. If the call came from out in, you don't know that. You only think you know it. What are they asking? We're still meeting at 2 o'clock at the bar today? No problem. Hey, I just got arrested. I'm in this podunk jail in Arkansas. I need some money right now. You should be thinking about that. We're getting the details of how to respond to that in a few slides. A deep fake. In my 4 years in this job, I have adopted every elder I've ever met, because I met one who said, if I'd met you months ago, I wouldn't have lost. I go, what do you mean? She goes, everything you said was spot on. If I'd heard it, I wouldn't have fallen. They took $400,000, and now I'm going to court, see if they'll keep my house. The judge will let me, and he didn't. This is preventable by each and every one of us with the right training, and we provide it here in the state of Wisconsin. We just don't get to enough people. Not yet. So we have people living in Waukesha, and they think they're having some sort of relationship with Tom Hanks or Dolly Parton. They know it because they know their voice. More of us, especially elders, live alone today than at any time in our nation's history. So I steal a line from Hillary Clinton, it takes a village. It takes a village to keep our elders safe. So if you're an elder who lives alone, you don't have to be lonely, but let people know you wouldn't mind a call once in a while. And if you know people who live alone, elder or not, reaching out to them, staying connected. Because if you're lonely and we don't get to them, the scammers do, the door is possibly wide open. We can prevent it. When you go out on a boat, you fish with the F, right? You put a worm on the hook, and you see if the fish nibbles, you wiggle the hook. If it does, you hope they bite. Fishing with a PH is the same process as on the phone. You answer the phone and you talk to them. By the way, and I don't know why, but it seems that anecdotally, more elder men than anyone come up to me and say, oh, I like to play with them when they call. You know, I'm retired. And that's a bad idea. We don't engage with criminals knowingly on the street, in our homes, or on our phones. But if they call and you take it, you've opened the door by saying, I'll talk to a stranger. You don't ever have to do that. When you click and leave those digital footprints, and now you are looking at ads for red boots, and now you're getting all this red boot stuff. It may be legitimate, it may be scam. What direction? Outside in, not good enough. And you have to know that and practice it. By the way, we have bad days. I'm going to get to you in a minute what we do on our bad days. Chat bots, they're great if they're real. If you've never used the website of the company, contact the company, make sure it's a real chat bot. Is this over the top? Well, maybe, except if it's a bad website. And sometimes we don't know. Consuming with intention, take that extra step to make sure this is real. If you have a bad day, what does that mean? You're convinced it's a real thing and you're going to give them the credit card, the $500. I know what Ben said about scams, but I know what I'm doing. Scammers have gotten really good at what they do. Like any of us. How do we get really good? We do it over and over again. Scammers have learned to take money, these offerings, Bitcoin, crypto, mailing cash, put cash in a box, we'll come pick it up. We never pay with these forms, ever. A gift card for the express use of the cards, the company name on the card. But other than that, if they ask you to pay, you're at this point, you just quietly take a deep breath and hang up. I don't want you to tell them you know what's going on. They don't know you know. They just know you hung up. They're going to call you right back. You were about to give them $500. Don't answer the phone. In the history of fishing, a fish that jumped off the hook never stopped to go, what are you doing, you bad fisher? They swim away. And the fisher doesn't go after that fish. They put the worm back on the hook and they fish again. You don't have to worry about the next fish, just you. And if you got this far and you hung up, you're not a scam victim. You got close. It's like when you step off the curb and all of a sudden that car comes flying by and you step back. Whoo! Same thing. You didn't get hit. You didn't get taken. So even if you're having that bad day and you're right there about to, then they say, well, you know, there's a Bitcoin kiosk at the local Quick Trip, and I'll stay on the phone and walk you over there, and I'll tell you exactly how to use it. And you just hang up and slip away into the deep. All scams are not government scams, but these are some examples anything from the outside in. By the way, the federal government, Medicare, Social Security, FBI, IRS, they don't have the staff to call you out of the blue. The IRS, if you owe money, is going to send you a letter. They won't call you. Good evening, ma'am. My name is John Smith, and I'm with the IRS. I'm calling about your overdue. Hang up. Don't talk to them. Don't fight with them. Don't try to verify who they are. They're not real. What do we know about most state federal employees after 5 o'clock? But they call at 2 in the afternoon, too. If there's a warrant for your arrest, and why does this scam work? There are a lot of honest people who, they didn't watch Dragnet. They don't know about warrants. And they think they can pay their way out of the warrant. Why are they willing to do that? Because they're sure that they're going to be walked in front of the neighborhood tomorrow because they said we're coming to arrest you. And you don't even think you did a crime, but you're so scared, you give them the credit card. And if you're on the phone with anyone in any circumstance and what they tell you makes you feel really scared, hang up. Tell them Ben gave you permission. Make sure what's coming at you is real. Scammers are really good at making us feel bad. Right now we're here. But if you get on the phone with somebody who makes you think you're in big trouble, you're over here. We make bad decisions over here. We don't ever have to be in this position. This is a really scary thing. You're on that computer and boom, it pops up. You're like, oh my God, danger, Will Robinson, danger. Don't you dare do anything. If you can't click the top right arrow and have it go away, deny and allow, those are links with words on top. And what did we learn about links before? There's no gray here. We never click on a link that we didn't expect until we verify it. Ever. And it's scary. Maybe it doesn't go away, or maybe your computer is screeching. Close it and put it in the trunk and let the battery go down at night, and then take it to the computer store. You have access to more expert information on absolutely every consumer topic you possibly could need. I urge you to find that expert information. People come up to me, can you show me how to set my phone? I said, no, I don't set phones, but you have a phone contract. Let the company you pay with experts do that work for you. If you think there's a tech issue, take your computer, your tech company. They're not calling you out of the blue. It's scary to think that they could know that. They don't, not yet. All the scams I talk about usually are short. 5-10 minutes, scare you, steal from you, and move on. A woman called me from South Milwaukee. She said, I'm 65 and I've been divorced 40 years. I've been lonely. But last year, I started a relationship with a 30-year-old rock and roll musician from South Korea. We laugh because we know this not to be real, but remember what I said about the lonely? She was lonely. She ended up giving this man $12,000, passport, and driver's license, thinking she was meeting this person in South Korea, starting with a trip from New York with a woman from South Korea who was going to give her the tutorial on the plane. At the end of the call, she said, I know it's been a scam, but I got something for my money. I'm not normally at a loss. I couldn't imagine what was coming next. I've been so lonely, she said, but for the last year, each and every day of that year, it felt like somebody loved me. That's what I got for my $12,000. It is preventable by each and every one of us. Not all of us are meant to meet others online, friends or romance. You can, but you want to go slow. Just like you would in real life. In real life, you see me, you can see how I'm dressed, how I'm groomed. Am I sober? Am I screaming? You see a lot. And you're making judgments about people and you see them good, bad, and indifferent. Online, you don't have that. Because she had given them all this information, and this is your homework. I thought up to now you guys like me, I'm a good guy, we're having a good time, and now I'm giving you homework. In the books that are around here on page 2, it talks about freezing your credit. I had her do this before they stole her blind. I'm asking you to do it. Anyone in your family with a Social Security number, you need to go to all 3 credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, and freeze your credit. Freezing your credit doesn't affect current credit card, mortgage, loan. It only affects future loans because if a scammer is trying to get your information, and get a loan in your name. Freezing your credit is akin to putting a deadbolt on your life's financial door. It's free. When you go to all three websites, by the way, you will see offers to spend money. Please, just go all the way to the very, very bottom. That's where the free credit freeze is. And on our website, there's a search box, and if you write credit freeze, the credit freeze sheet with the phone numbers and the web addresses on the book, I just think it's web. You can get that too. And if you have questions about how to deal with this, you call our hotline. That information is at the end. You get it in a minute. She did check. She froze her credit. They had not stolen her blind. I don't know what she did. I hope she took my advice, go to the local church or coffee shop or library, go meet some real people, because some of us, that's safer. If you didn't buy it, you didn't win it. Are there any questions? All right? Publishers, clearinghouse, lottery, doesn't make a difference. You didn't enter it? You certainly didn't win it. So I would change the slide title, but I don't have enough characters. I want this to read, when anyone you care about calls you in dire circumstances, scam. If someone calls you from the ER, best friend, child, nephew, it doesn't make a difference. Hang up right away. If they are close to you, go to your phone where they're in your contacts, because they should be there. Call them. You'll find out they're not in the ER. God forbid they are in the ER, you've lost 5 seconds. But most of the time they're not in the ER, and you've gained 1,000 heartbeats or more. Because if you think a loved one's in the ER in trouble, it's gut-wrenching. The longer you stay on the phone, the better the scammer is at convincing you this is real. Your superpower is controlling the flow of your communication always, from the outside in. Yes, it can be the voice. It could be a video with a real face. All you have to wonder about what's being asked of you and what direction did it come from. If you're interested in giving to a charity, we are all for it at the Bureau of Consumer Protection. But if someone calls you with a charitable pitch, you have no way of knowing if it's real or not. Charitable giving for consumers is consuming with intention. You contact the charity of your choice when you want. You give how you want and how much you want. If it's akin to the end of the year or Giving Tuesday, great. But you give when you're comfortable giving. That's the first step to always being safe when you donate. You avoid scams simply by knowing the government, federal or state, won't call you. Urgent, threatening messages. We don't allow that with legitimate or illegitimate business at all, ever. We don't trust someone who says, you've got a deal of a lifetime, but I can't give it to anyone else. You are one of 7 billion. You're really special. Are you that special? No. Tell you a good deal, it's so good, no one else can get it but you. That's code, I'm scamming you. Online romance or friends, if they're not sharing equally, watch it. And remote access to your computer, never when someone reaches out to you and asks for it. But if you call your computer company with an IT issue and they connect you to IT and they say, we need remote contract, from you out, directions, everything, you're safe. Microsoft will never know and call you and say, good evening, but we need remote access to your computer because your computer's full of IRI. That doesn't happen. These kind of hit. The do not call registry is from us, but it's national. You'll get less calls. Scammers don't adhere to it. You still get scam calls. When the scam calls get to be too much, there is an off button. Turn your phone off. So we have the hotline. It operates Monday through Friday, 7:45 to 4:30. Any question whatsoever. If you need to make sure it's the right address, or you don't know if you got scammed, or you're trying to figure out something as a consumer thing, God, I just wish somebody could help me. We can. Our name tells you what we do. The Bureau of Consumer Protection. And we will do everything we can to help you or make it right if things go wrong. We have mediators who work on your behalf. We have investigators who do that too. So before you have to get a lawyer to give you the legal rights you already have in this contract that got broken, we can try to help. Our outreach, not only do Jeff and I talk, but our PowerPoints are online, so you can see today's, the full one, this is truncated, and the training guide. AI, crypto, identity theft, scams, it's up there. administer the do not call law, some other details here, but I want to get to this because this is new. We have our newsletter now. And if you want it emailed once a month, the latest scam trends, a new scam, what focus we want you to think about this month or where we're going to be, it's all there. And if you want to sign up online, you can do that. You can use the URL as well. These are all the topics that we talk about. If you're interested for this group or any other, we do them virtually. We do it live anywhere in the state. Landlord-tenant rights, landlord-tenant complaints, the number one for the last 5 years, consumer complaint. Scams, really important. AI and crypto are going to be very busy. That's how you get to me. If anyone wants my business cards afterwards, I've got them. But in the meantime, if you've got a question, I'm glad to take them. If you've got a personal issue, you don't want to discuss it in the group, when we're done, I'm not flying out of here, so come find me. But in the meantime, to all of you who made it possible for me to be here today, thank you very much, and thank you for your time and your attention.
Thank you so much for those very helpful tips, Ben. I'm Anne Marie. I'll be moderating our questions today. If anyone would like to come up to the microphone.
Thank you for your presentation. You really focused on people who are cognitively able when you give all this advice. What about our elderly parents and those who have cognitive disability? How about parents or elderly people who get in?
Two questions. How about elderly? Let's start there. The sooner we start controlling the flow of our communication and not clicking on links and make it part of our muscle memory, we all age, hopefully, and as we age, we may fade. Working with our elders before they get too elderly is critical. Look to the left, look to the right, cross at the corner, go with the light. We taught it to our kids. It was taught to us as kids. We need to help our elders with it. For the first time in 4 years, we have been asked to go give a presentation for a group of cognitively disabled. I have not done it yet. I don't know what it will be like. I don't know how much to give, how much to hold back. I would imagine each member of the audience will have some different levels to accept and take it in. Those who work with the cognitively disabled have got to find a way to work with them too and realize this is part of your daily toil. But I don't have a better answer for you. I wish I did. But we are starting to spread out into different audiences, whether it's cognitively disabled, Spanish and Hmong speaking. My charge when I started here was to make sure we hit the most underserved and overlooked audiences in the city, because there's so many of them. On top of that, it's to make sure we hit the often not overlooked or underserved, because it's critical for all of us too. Yes, ma'am.
I want to thank you for your presentation, and I would like to thank all of the team members who are at the Division of Trade and Consumer Protection who helped me recover funds that I had lost to a Lyft driver.
Oh.
When I was in Seattle, that person didn't charge the correct amount and overcharged, and Lyft website didn't make it possible to actually file a complaint with them, so I had to send a letter to the department, and with the help of people in your office, I was able to recover my funds. It took a couple of months. I had to be patient. I just want to publicly thank you for that. And so I wanted to ask you, is it common to hear from people who have been scammed by drivers?
So is the Uber Lyft scam, this is the first face-to-face experience I've had with it. I don't know. I'm glad we could help you. I want to point out, though, when we show the online shopping PowerPoint, there's a slide. We show it to you because there's 5,000, it leads the list from the FTC, 5,000 complaints on online shopping last year. What's not next to that is how many millions of online shoppers were happy because they don't fill out a form to let us know. $110 trillion in the global economy, $1 trillion in scams. Most of us are not scam victims. We are approached, and you getting your money back is great. You're part of the trillion, though. We made it right for you. We can't always, but we hope we can do that. But just the numbers alone tell you the majority of us are not getting scammed. We may be getting approached, but Realize the world isn't going down the drain here. The majority of us are never scammed. But we want to make sure each one of us crosses the online street safely. And that actually is not up to me or the government or the company you work for. It's up to each and every one of us. That gives you a lot of control. I'm glad we helped you. Thank you for that.
Thanks for being here, Ben. Quick question. Can you speak to the use of credit card versus banking account? For example, Venmo, I know we're often giving access to the bank account, and I'm wondering how safe that is.
All right. How you pay for things. Venmo, credit card, debit card, paper check. It really, I wish I could tell you, this is the way to do it. How you behave, who you behave with, knowing who you're sharing with. So if you're going to a company with paper checks and you've been going with them for years, you trust them, that makes sense. A new company you've never dealt business with, you send a check, you send the routing number, the account number, your name, your address. Maybe you don't send a personal check to a new company. Your credit card versus debit card, what are the protections? Each and every financial institution will tell you different answers, so don't ask me. Consume with intention. You have access to more expert information you've ever had when it comes to the financial. You go to your bank and say, I have a credit and debit card. If I get scammed, what are my protections? Normally, and this is normal, but it's specifics for what's in your wallet, you have to go find out. You get 2 months on a credit card and 2 days on a debit card. But again, talk to your financial institution. And if you're shopping for a card, have 10 questions you want to know about that card and ask the same 10 questions of 4 or 5 institutions. Then you decide, consuming with intention, what's best for you. When you shop online, we tell you don't have to use PayPal or Venmo or Apple Pay or Google Pay or Oh My God Pay. You can. You only have to use one vehicle that's safe for you. For most of us, our credit and debit cards are already in that vein. You can expand into other things, and you can also get education from places like us on how to do it before you do it.
Thank you. We have time for one more question.
All right?
Good afternoon. I want to ask about 2 of the examples you gave. One is where I get lots of calls with the silence. And my question is, if I stay on for more than 4 seconds, what could possibly happen? The other example is similar. You said, don't click. I spend half my day unsubscribing from things.
Okay, thank you for those. I'm going to stop you because I'm late on time. But
All right, and so if you do that, what bad thing could happen?
all right. If there is a knock on your door at 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning, you absolutely never open it if you don't know who's on the other side. I'm talking about managing risk. You can listen to 5 seconds of silence and take the call, but I'm telling you to manage the risk. There's no upside to taking that call. It's either a scammer or somebody selling things that you don't need, because I doubt you're sitting there waiting. So tonight is the night the aluminum siding guy, I've been waiting for 6 months. So there is no upside. Why take that risk? It is akin to closing your eyes and crossing the street. Our whole lives are risk management, by the way. And I know everyone in this room has managed risk really well. Ben, you don't know any of us. How do you know that? We're here. We're here. We know a lot of people didn't make it for many reasons. Part of it, they didn't manage the process right. You want to manage the risk right. So no, don't take that. If you're on a legitimate website and you want to unsubscribe, that's fine. But if you get an email or a text and you're not sure where it's from the outside in, hitting unsubscribe is clicking a link. The scammers are not keeping an unsubscribe list, so the consumers who request not to be on the scam list get taken off. Unsubscribe, reply, other than just delete, right? When they contact you, they don't know you're there. They're calling every number. 414-111-1111 all the way, 9999. Computer does it. You have an unlisted number, makes no difference. Cell phone, landline, makes no difference. They don't know. They're phishing. Are you nibbling on the bait? You don't have to. You click on unsubscribe, you're saying this line is active. Just delete it. With all that, any other questions, please find me. You want a card, please ask me. Rotary of Milwaukee, thank you.